Welcome everyone. Glad to see so many faces here this evening. Why don't we start with the pledge? I pledge
allegiance to the flag of the United States of America and to the republic for which it stands, one nation, under God, indivisible, with liberty and justice for all.
All right, we have got a wonderful start to our meeting this evening where we're going to recognize our retirees this year. Dr. McCall.
Dramatic applause. All right, this is always one of the best and sometimes the saddest moment during the year where we are able to give honor to those who have influenced our kids over the years. And this year's crop of retirees is no different in the sense of the impact that they have made over the years for our kids as well as their peers, including myself. Very blessed to have served alongside, borne witness in their classrooms, and just seeing how they are able to instruct as well as inspire. I'd like to begin with honoring Barb Carter. Barb is currently our registrar at VHS, and she has served in that role as full-time registrar since 2009. But she's actually been with Valpo Schools since 2007, and then before that for 2000 to 2001. She has done a little bit of everything during those years. She was an instructional aide at Memorial. She worked as a substitute aide and substitute secretary over the next few years, and then was hired as the assistant registrar and assistant treasurer at VHS in August of 2007, before becoming registrar in January of 2009. Dr. Tabone shared a few highlights regarding Barb, and then I'll add my own as well. Dr. Tabone says that Barb goes above and beyond when kids need help with high school transcripts, even taking her laptop on vacation with her to process requests if needed. She's got a calming influence when she's on the phone helping families, usually during tumultuous times. And when parents come in upset, they usually leave very much less so. She gives great hugs. She's a fighter with very strong faith. She beat cancer and worked throughout that time. She's a huge fan of the sun and enjoys sitting outside during her lunch in her chair. And her points of intense pride are her family, her husband, her children, grandbaby, which, to tell the truth, is really the reason why she's retiring, to be a full-time gaga. From my perspective, Barb and I have worked together many times over the years, both when we were at the high school and then when I assumed assistant superintendent. And she's worked very closely with Dr. Allison with things like graduation rate. And as the world has got more complex and more mandates have occurred, Barb has taken it in stride. I think it has helped professionalize the methodology by which we track students and has had a really strong hand in making sure that our data reflects our story. Barb is a great professional, and we're very sad to lose her, but we're very happy for her to move on to the next phase of life. So Barb, would you mind coming on up here, receiving your... You don't have to. I know.
It's been a great ride. It truly has. It's been a great gig, or I wouldn't have stayed around all this time. He's right, I started in 2000 and found out very quickly that classroom aid was not in my wheelhouse. So I started as the registrar in 07 full-time and been here ever since. And it's just been full of joy. I've worked with some great people that turned into be family. And again, that's why I stayed so long. And the reason I am leaving, I'm a gaga. And that little scamp moved to South Carolina. So now I can go anytime I want. I don't have to wait for fall break or spring break. But I thank you very much. This is so honored and this is so humble. And I thank you. It's been fun.
Thank you. Take a picture.
Oh, fun on my name.
Yep, and then you're gonna go take a picture because you're photogenic.
Okay.
Back there. All right. I can't stand in front. I block it. All right, there. 3, 2, 1.
Thank you.
Barb.
Thank you very much.
Go on.
Back.
Yep, in back.
All right.
Below the Viking success sign. Well, you can just hang out here.
All right. Where do you want to go?
Will you stay down here?
Yeah, we can. One with her husband, Dr. Allison. One with her husband as well. Sure. If she wants. I know.
Oh, you bet.
All right. Everyone hear me okay? Our next retiree is Mary Ann Coulter. Mary Ann is retiring from being a teacher at Memorial, and she has served since 1998. And she's actually served in a variety of buildings, starting out as a first grade teacher at Parkview, then moving to fifth grade teacher at Hayes Leonard, and then she moved to a first grade teacher at Hayes Leonard before working as a teacher for Central during the 17-18 school year, where Central was at Hayes Leonard. And then in a moment of coming full circle, she became a first grade teacher at Memorial in August of 2018. And I say that it is full circle because she actually started her school career at Memorial as a kindergartner while living on Elmhurst Avenue. Same house, same school. And she's now ending her school career after 25 years as a school teacher for Valpo. She's got many hobbies: a barbecue contest judge, working toward her pink Cadillac as a Mary Kay consultant, and a world traveler. She has many stories from many obscure destinations. One of the things I'm known for is lurking in the hallways, because when I walk into an elementary classroom, I'm a distraction. Not in the fun uncle way, but just in the biggest thing the kids have seen way. So I like to lurk out in the hallway and listen to all the good things going on. And one of the hallways I enjoy most is the primary hallway at Memorial. And Mary Ann has such a good way about her when she talks with her kids in a classroom. Not to them, not down to them, but with them. And it is such a marvelous skill that I know she comes by it naturally, but it seems like she does it so intentionally. Not going to try and make you cry, I promise. But I do want you to know how much you mean to us, how much you meant to Memorial, what an impact you've made just in the last several years of being there, especially with some of the turnover we've had in the primary grades as well. You've been excellent, excellent part of that, and you've got a lot to be proud of. So if you want to come up and say a few words, introduce who you brought with you. Marion. Here. Go ahead.
Well, I just wanted to say thank you for your kind work. As Dr. McCall said, I started out as a kindergartner a long time ago, 1964 at Memorial, and I said it survived all of my brothers and myself, so it's definitely a sturdy building. So it's definitely been coming back full circle. Both of our boys attended Memorial as well, so it's definitely been a cornerstone of my family for my whole life. So I'm leaving what was actually my third grade classroom. So I've been very proud to be a part of that. And it's been so fun to watch Valpo grow, with all the expansion, the changes in leadership, just to be a part of that. I know when I told people when I was teaching in Valparaiso, other colleagues from outside Valparaiso, a little envious of the fact that I was able to teach in such a respected district. I was actually hired, I was one of those, the day before school, we're going to need to add a section of first grade. And remember sitting in Dr. Benway's office as the new teacher meetings were already underway at Parkview, and was very grateful for such the opportunity. And looking forward to the next chapter. Like Barb, I'm a new Gaga, and I have a grandson who, my son, worked with Dr. McCall at high school. So ready to look at that new chapter and be able to take off for vacation whenever we, at a moment's notice, not have to wait. Like I said, my husband, we've got some things planned and looking forward to the next chapter. But I'm excited for it, and I'm very grateful for the opportunity.
Congratulations.
Thank you.
Come on down here. Our next retiree, Michaela Ullison, who might have the most fun name to say in the entire district. She's only corrected me a few times over the years, but she is a venerable German teacher, and that doesn't even tell you half of it. She came to us initially from 97 to 99 and worked as an aide at Ben Franklin. And then she was hired on as a German teacher at Valparaiso High School in 05-06. And I remember actually the year when you were hired, I was still teaching down the hall in the English classroom. And I remember thinking to myself, there is no way that they paired Elka and Michaela together, because this is going to be electric because of the high standards of excellence that you had, and it was apparent right from when you came in the door. Changed from VHS to working at the middle schools, and the reason why you did that was because of your dedication to the program. And Michaela felt that she could do the most good for the pride of the German language and culture by moving her inspirational talents to the middle school and providing that foundation for the German program to move up into the high school. So as ingrained and entrenched as you were at the high school, you felt the greater good needed you at the middle school, and so you plunged and took that challenge on. She has been so proud over the years, worked as a National Junior Honor Society sponsor, a lead mentor facilitator, a German club sponsor, and even the IB coordinator. She was born in Germany, but became a U.S. citizen in August 2012. And from Mr. Maudlin, he wants to make sure that everyone knows that she was a recipient of the Indiana Foreign Language Teachers Association Indiana German Teacher of the Year in 2021, and her passion for teaching and inspiring her students has been so appreciated at TJ Middle School. For me, I stand by that first day that I met you with the way you're finishing strong now. I think you've left the German program in good hands, as evidenced by the type of talent that wants to teach here and keep that tradition alive. So congratulations on your retirement. Would you like to come up and say a few words? For the folk that hear what you're saying.
What do you mean at home? You're not broadcasting.
Oh, we're broadcasting live.
So, well, I'm going to go back to the first day when I stepped foot into Valparaiso High School, and I immediately had that sense of really belonging, and it was really, really great, and I felt like I had a purpose. And I talked to my daughter the other day, and I said, you know what, everybody's asking me, are you excited about retiring? And I said, I don't know. I mean, I'm not feeling it really that much. And she said, well, maybe you don't know, you don't think you have a purpose anymore, in a sense of, doing something a little bit bigger. And I think she's right about that, although my purpose is going to be, and and who knows, maybe coming up with a couple of hobbies or something. I don't know yet, but I think it's because
you want
of
to
that.
rescind your retirement letter?
No. But so it was really a great ride. I really, really enjoyed it. I am glad to have found a place where I felt like I really belonged. I have no idea what's going to happen next in terms of me aging, because the kids kept me young. So now I am no longer updated on what the new slang words are or something, and it's going to be a little difficult trying to keep up with the younger generation, I think. So
They're going to have to keep up with you.
maybe not. So well, thank you very much. Let's see. Make sure that was everything. Yes. Thank you. That's right here. There we go. Thank you. Thank you. Thank you. Me first.
Sticking with the international mindedness, our next retiree is a Spanish teacher who is retiring after 15 years of service for Valparaiso Community Schools, Carolyn Rodea. Carolyn was hired as a Spanish teacher at TJMS and Valpo High School in August of '08, and then switched to only teaching at TJM soon after. She then began with teaching Spanish. World Language Department Chair, lead mentor facilitator, and then probably the most eclectic of all of our teachers. She was also the STEM club sponsor and robotics club sponsor. And that really, if I could give one tidbit about Carolyn, that really encapsulates her. She doesn't like to be kind of pigeonholed. She is a Spanish teacher, but again, STEM and robotics minded. And while a passionate teacher by day, Carolyn is also a talented singer and songwriter by night. You can often catch her and her husband, Pancho, also a Spanish teacher, performing frequently at Don Quixote. From Mrs. Sinkowski, Carolyn has brought her love of culture and language to her Spanish students at BF and TJ over the past 15 years. And she is, without a doubt, impassioned for her language and culture. We're going to miss Carolyn and all the talents that she brings in service of our students, but she's leaving behind her husband and daughter to teach for Valpo schools as well. So we are still in good Rodea hands with her, but you get to enjoy retirement first. Carolyn, congratulations, if you mind coming up.
Thanks so much. I didn't prepare anything, but I won't ramble either. I don't talk for too long. I actually started off teaching in Mexico and met Pancho down there because he was a teacher. And it was, for me, it's full circle to come back and be teaching right next door to him again, because we've always been a teaching team and shared ideas and everything. And I think it rubbed off on Rocio, so she's picked up the torch too. Yeah, thanks for the opportunity to try out the STEM club and the robotics. I learned a lot doing that. Exploring world languages, I've also started learning more languages that I didn't know before, and just to prepare for that course, and so that's been really exciting. And in retirement, I'm just planning to spend more time dedicated to music so that I'm not songwriting by night, like 3 a.m., but I can keep a little more reasonable hours with that, but stick with my hobby. So thank you so much. Thanks all the teams that I worked with. TJ and BF are both wonderful places. I love them both and I'll miss them. So thank you.
Our final retiree for the evening is Karen Tognetti. Karen has worked as an instructional aide at Central since 2006. And during those 17 years, she has made a tremendous difference and certainly has seen and lived through many changes at Central Elementary. From Mrs. Sarkeesian, these following words are in tribute. After 17 years, Karen Tognetti is leaving Central, although she will always be a member of the Central family. Karen is old school in the best way. You always know precisely where you stand with her. Karen's expectations are high, as is her skill level. She has a knack for math, which shows during her small group instruction. She enjoys following, quote, her kids after they leave Central and still brings in newspaper clippings of their accomplishments to share. We wish her a retirement filled with chocolate Cokes from Shoop's, traveling the world, time with her family, especially sweet Gloria, and limited encounters with citrus. Inside Central joke there. Karen, you are a familiar face, and one that is kind, caring, but firm when the kids need it as well. Congratulations on your retirement. Thank you for your 17 years in service at Central Elementary. If you would like to come on up.
I brought my husband with me. He's taking my picture now. The citrus thing is my favorite color is orange, all shades, not the fruit, not the smell, not the taste. But yes, I do follow all the kids. I've been EL since 2007, and I keep track of where they are and how they're doing. So, and I try and keep track of other kids too. So I will miss my Central family. That's going to be hard. Thank you.
Doesn't matter. And I do want to give one recognition in absentia. Kim Vincent, who's a teacher at Cook's Corners and has been since 1997, also is retiring, could not make it this evening. But I do want to share words from her principal, Ms. Miller. It says that Ms. Vincent is a talented teacher who establishes wonderful rapport with her students and their parents. She is known for holding her students to high expectations while planning fun, engaging lessons for her students. One of my favorites was when her class would make applesauce every fall. I also always love listening to Ms. Vincent read aloud to her class as she truly brings the story to life. She is a valued member of the Cook staff and will be dearly missed. And so if we could have a round of recognition for Kim Vincent for 26 years. And that concludes our retiree recognition this evening.
Thank you. I think I speak for the board. We really appreciate all of the many years all of you put in and all of the young minds that you've inspired for future generations of Valpo students and Valpo citizens. So thank you, and best wishes on your next journey.
Yeah, could we get a picture of all the retirees in the back under the Viking Success sign? And then we'll go take one with them as well.
Okay.
Forward.
We're gonna do one alone and one with.
Yep. One with them on their lonesome, and then we'll degrade the picture. We're gonna email these out. We're full service around here.
Yeah.
So I take one step forward. We're gonna be right there and fill in on the gaps. Fill in on the gaps, on the shoulders.
So nice you guys brought your father for
Saving that one.
I just saw all these old guys staring at taking pictures, like, holy moly.
Karen, you guys are welcome to go get some dinner or ice cream if you wish. Or pizza, some German pilsner. All right. We do have.
I survived your son.
All right, good times.
Okay, we're gonna go ahead and move to our next item, which is public comment on action items. Mr. Williams has asked to speak.
The past several months, this board has shared one recognition after another of the stream of state championship teams coming out of Valparaiso Community Schools. So I was surprised and disappointed that you did not, at last month's meeting, or even earlier this evening, recognize, cheer, and applaud the 100 or so Valparaiso High School students who walked out of school on April 5th to take principled action against the gun violence that is profoundly harming our country and profoundly harming our children. These are state championship level kids. At the risk of punishment, pure put-downs, and simple fear of the unknown, these students took the risk, took action, took the consequences. You all just put up a military hall of honor to highlight the service and sacrifice that generations of VCS students have risen to. Obviously, there are differences in the situations, but the VHS students of April 5th displayed the initiative, effort, and courage that you applaud in our alumni. So, also celebrate those virtues now in the courageous kids of today to spur them to become the leaders of tomorrow. At a time when too many Americans are throwing up their hands, not knowing what to do, these students did something. I say thank you, VHS students, if you're out there. Good job, and just wow. Thank you for saying something, for starting something, for being the adults in the room. We adults in this country, through our actions, but mostly through our inaction, have made this harm worse for our children and for ourselves. Gun violence has not harmed me physically yet, but it certainly has done profound damage to my psyche and to my spirit. I imagine it is the same for other people of feeling. No one has all the answers or the best solutions, but everyone with sense knows there is a profound problem, and we will never solve the problem of rampant gun violence until we address the problem. You, administrators and board members, have position and authority. Please continue the conversation these VHS students started. Please speak often about this problem, both in public and in private. Talk with your community. Talk with state legislators. Highlight these champion students in the next Viking View newsletter. Invite these champion students for recognition at the next month's board meeting and take a photo with them. Speak about this problem, please. Let's not wait until the carnage comes to Valparaiso to stand for something. Thanks.
Thank you.
Thank you.
All right, we will move to the consent agenda. Any questions from the board regarding the consent agenda? Okay, if not, can I have a motion for approval
So moved.
and a second?
I second.
All those in favor say aye.
Aye.
Any opposed? Our consent agenda is passed.
Thank you, Madam President. At this time, I'd like to introduce Athletic Director Mr. Stacy Adams, who will be introducing one of the people who were on the personnel report.
Thank you. Good evening. As many of you know, 10 days ago, we announced Barry Kuhlman's decision to resign as head basketball coach at Valparaiso High School. I'd like to take a moment to thank Coach Kuhlman for his contribution to our community, our basketball program as well. We wish Barrick, his wife Valerie, and their kids Kayla and Caleb the very best. Tonight, we're looking to the future, while we also reflect on the rich tradition of Valparaiso basketball. When you think of Valparaiso basketball, you can't help but think of the legends like Virgil Sweet, Skip Collins, Bob Ponner, Joe Otis, along with the Harden brothers, Casey Schmidt, Rob Kavanaugh, Tim Bishop, and of course, Bryce Drew, just to name a few. As we turn the page to our next chapter, we want to bring the very best of Valpo basketball history while innovating and always enhancing our program to build the very best experience and culture for our student athletes. With this in mind, it's my honor and privilege to introduce Mr. Ben Liskey as our new head basketball coach. Coach Liskey is a 2002 VHS graduate and a former Viking basketball player. He graduated from Valparaiso University with a degree in history and secondary education with a minor in Native American Studies. He also earned a Master's of Art and Liberal Studies with a concentration in history. He is known for his passion for helping young people both in and outside the classroom. Coach Liskey is the perfect fit to lead our program into the future. His leadership qualities, character, basketball IQ, and 17 years of loyalty to Valparaiso have made him the obvious pick as our head coach. Our players and community know Ben and his family, and I couldn't be more excited to see him take this tradition-rich program to the next level. I'd like to ask Ben to come up, introduce your family, and say a few words. Ben?
very much. I don't know if I got to crouch on this thing. There we go. A little bit better. It's with great pleasure and true gratitude that I accept this position. It's the fulfillment of a dream that I have had for a long time. And I'm only here today because of the myriad of mentors and friends and teachers and family that have guided me here to instill a love of basketball and especially learning. I'm blessed with an unbelievable family. My wife, Rachel, my son, Lucas, my daughter, Claire, my parents, Bill and Barb, my in-laws, Vicky and Danny, my brothers, Dan and Jake, and their wonderful families. They form the bedrock of who I am as a man. My love of basketball has been guided by so many names, and I'm going to start with a few, but I'm not going to be able to include everybody because there's just too many. But it began at VU, at my mom's university where she worked for 34 years, watching Homer and Scott and Bryce here at VHS, then getting to work with them at Valparaiso University, to work with Bob Barthel, Bob Punter, John Knopf, Lou Reinhardt, Drew Trost at Bishop Knoll, I already said John, but him as a coach as well, as a colleague, Chris Benedict, Joe Otis, Matt Thomas, Brent Kimmel, Doug Walls, Chris Dotson, and especially Barrett Kuhlman. There are many, many more, but we would be here all day. Thank you to our administration, to our school board, to our community. I can't wait to get started.
When the position opened up, we reflected on the process that we would undergo to find the next coach who would launch us into the future. And when we took a step back, we realized that the process has been underway for 17 years. More so if you consider his time as a student walking the halls. He's a tremendous coach. He is excellent teacher, one of our best. In fact, he will be taking over as one of the instructional coaches at the high school to spread that acumen and help the next generation. But more importantly, he is an excellent person. He will be a character-first coach, and the wins and losses will follow. But more importantly, we will produce excellent young people for this community. And I cannot be more proud of Ben Liskey taking over as basketball coach. Congratulations, Ben.
Thank you very much. Okay, we're going to move on with the agenda.
Ice cream time? All right.
All right, our next item on the agenda is our performance of budget funds. Mr. Holloman.
Thank you, Madam President. Each month, we present our financial report comparing the year-to-date revenue to the year-to-date expenditures for our tax-supported funds. Our year-to-date performance of funds report as of April 30th, 2023 shows the following. In the education fund, year-to-date revenue is at $16,836,161, while our expenditures are at $16,010,098. Revenue has exceeded expenditures by 5.16%. Debt service, no change from last month. There has been no revenue, and the expenditure of $1,870,000. The January debt payments were made with funds from the December 22 tax draw, and our next draw will be next month in June. In the pension fund, we have the $400,000 revenue as a loan from the rainy day fund, and expenditures of $705,743. The loan will be paid back to the rainy day fund in December of '23, and we also have our tax draw coming up next month. In the operations fund, year-to-date revenue, $3,061,143. Year-to-date expenditures, $5,888,011. And we have our tax draw coming up in June. Operating referendum, no change from last month. We have no revenue and expenditures of $1,869,228. Capital referendum, no revenue and no expenditures. And the rainy day fund has no revenue. The only expenditure is that $400,000 loan that I aforementioned, and that'll be paid back in December, as I said. We believe a revenue, I'm sorry, we believe a review of the fund shows a positive financial position. If there are no questions, we ask for the approval of the financial reports for April of 2023.
Thank you. Any questions for Mr. Hallfield?
Yeah, I have one. Just, I know that the funding from the state just got sent to us here a couple of weeks ago. Does it look good from your standpoint? Are you, is it much of a change from last year in terms of the per diem? And
It does look good in some areas.
yeah,
One thing that we don't know for sure what's going to happen is with the textbook rental, we know that there's going to be money put towards textbook fees, but we don't know how that's going to work yet. And we don't know if that's going to be enough to cover all of the expenditures we've been making year in, year out as far as textbook fees and such. So that's still a question mark. As far as the money, there was a substantial amount of money put towards schools, but about a third of that was put towards non-public schools. So we're happy with the extra money we're getting, but we wish there could have been more.
yeah. So will we receive more in dollars
We will.
than we did last year? And
Yes.
what, as a percentage, 2%, 3%,
It
5%?
depends. With our ADM going up, which is a good thing,
Yeah.
we should see about a 4.5% increase.
Good.
Any other questions? Okay, if not, can I have a motion to approve the financial reports?
I move that we accept the financial report.
And a second?
Second.
All those in favor say aye.
Aye.
Any opposed? Those are approved.
Thank you.
The next item is contract considerations. Dr. McCall.
Thank you, Madam President. I have several, many of them in annual basis, and then one as a result of ongoing construction at the high school. We have a contract with NWEA, also known as NWEA, for academic assessments in the amount of $84,611. Contract with Applied Innovation for maintenance plan for 2 copy machines at the Vale. Skyward Software, we are adding a special education software management suite software. It also involves setup, training, and management. So we are adding this module to our current setup in order to account for our taking on of special education services. That's 12-month in the amount of $12,203. Valparaiso High School has their MOU dual credit agreement with Ivy Tech Community College. Coca-Cola bottling for beverage vending service based on commission of sales. Palmer Photography LLC for the photography sessions for VHS athletic teams. That's dependent upon photo packages and prints. This is the aforementioned special contract. It is with VU for 6 tennis courts at their complex for VHS summer tennis program, while ours is undergoing construction. That's a total amount of $2,700. It works out to be $15 per court per hour. With Northview and Heveland Elementary, we have personal touch portrait studios for school photographer, again, based on portrait packages purchased. Happy to answer any questions you may have on these contracts.
Any questions? If not, can I have a motion to approve the contract?
So moved.
And a second?
I second.
All those in favor say aye.
Aye.
Any opposed? The contracts are approved. Then we move on to grants. Dr. Barkman. Then donations and gifts. Dr. McCall.
Thank you. We have several. Haviland Elementary, Coca-Cola Give King Solutions, $34.90 in principal's discretion. And the Haviland PTO donated $98.55 for field trip transportation. At Memorial Elementary, Interstate Studio and Publishing from yearbook proceeds garnered $1,309.35. And the General Mills box tops for education got $31 for principal's discretion. TJE's PTO donated $315 in varying amounts to the first, second, and fourth grade field trips. Ben Franklin Middle School, Ed Nicketh donated trombone to the band, and the Valpo Chamber of Commerce donated $200 to the Entrepreneurs Club. TJ Middle School, the Valparaiso Sunrise Kiwanis donated $400 to the Builders Club Dance Marathon fundraiser for Lurie's Children's Hospital. Michael and Mary Brown donated $25 to the Science Olympiad, and Ben and Katrina Holterhoff donated $200 to the same cause. At Valparaiso High School, the Valparaiso Kiwanis Club Foundation Special Kids Special Needs donated $2,000 to Unified Track and the Unified Flag Football programs for equipment, spiritware, team meals, and awards night. First Source Bank donated $750, and Luke Brands donated $500 for senior activities such as the Academic Excellence Banquet, class breakfast, and keychain gift. Valparaiso Band Boosters donated $100 for a scholarship for 2 students' attendance to the Ball State University Jazz Festival. And the Valparaiso Band Boosters donated $335. Brian and Jody Christoph donated $25, and Dr. Pablo and Mrs. Christine Bucata donated $6.01 to the hotel fees for ISMA State Finals Hotel. At the Vale, Christian Fields donated prom dresses for student use. Tri Kappa donated $1,500 for student food. And for the school nutrition services, for School Lunch Hero Day, Family Express donated 3 dozen donuts and 3 dozen muffins. Chick-fil-A donated 45 free sandwich coupons. 500 chicken wings came from Duffy's Place. Culver's donated 45 free custard scoops. Pesto's, 1 pan of baked ziti, 1 pan breadsticks, 1 pan salad. Albano's, 1 pan tortellini, 1 pan salad, 1 pan bread. Strachan Van Til's donated 25 box lunches. Jimmy John's donated 2 party platter trays. And Old World Market donated charcuterie boards. On the corporation donations, the Johnny Lubeck and Vicki L. Lubeck Living Trust donated $25 to School Nutrition Services and $25 to Backpacks and Snacks. That concludes the list, and certainly recommend approval.
Great. Any questions or comments? Can I have a motion to accept the donations and gifts?
I move that we accept the donations and gifts.
And a second?
Second.
All those in favor say aye.
Aye.
Any opposed? Those are accepted. Moving to old business. Board consideration for the contract for the VHS tennis courts. Mr. Blastic is going to be presenting.
Every time someone steps up to the microphone, a bunch of people leave, but I don't think there's anybody left, so. Thank you, Madam President. I come before you tonight to present a contractor recommendation for the new tennis court at VHS. I'm happy to announce that the price came in right where we had hoped it would come in. On May 4th, 2 bids were received for the tennis courts project, and after reviewing them, Gary Up Construction was determined to be the lowest and most responsive bidder. In addition to the tennis courts, the repaving of the northwest lot of VHS was added as an alternate to the project. This lot was already slated as an approved project for this year. The addition of the project as an alternate resulted in substantial savings of the original budget for that lot repaving. So it's our recommendation that Gary Up Construction be awarded the contract and be given notice to proceed for the tennis court and the VHS lot repaving. Thank you.
All right, any questions for Mr. Blastic about the bid?
I'm just curious, what's the nature of the work? It looks like a really fine facility.
It's going to be a full replacement of courts,
Okay.
fences, resurfacing.
Yeah. It's just not in good shape.
The current courts are so poorly cracked, and
There's some major cracks as well as some shifting that's occurred over the years, Northwest Indiana weather, and those have served us well. But we have to dig deep and do it right.
it is not just a surface issue. We had core samples done, and it was, I think, I can't remember the exact amount, but it is down a
Has it gotten
substantial
worse
amount.
since we did that rain runoff field where the freshman football used to practice?
No, that drainage, when we started on the West Campus and even on the high school renovations, we had a study done, and which was why we created the retention pond on the horseshoe on the west side of the West Campus, and the capacity far exceeded. We could have made the rest of the West Campus impervious surface, and it would have been able to handle that sort of load. This is truly a matter of age, the weather, and then, you know, once you get small cracks and you get that along with some poor soil samples, it's just been exacerbated. Yeah, no longer are we concerned about ball taking a funny bounce, but we're really more concerned about player safety. So instead of trying to fill the gaps with some solutions, it's prudent to do a total makeover with it. So with that, again, I have to hand it to Mr. Blastic and Mr. Holofield for having the foresight to include the northwest lot as an alternate, and then having the mobilization of the crews help to have those efficiencies so that the bids came in even more competitive and saved us, I think, some major dollars in the process. So.
With us getting this work done now, how long has it been since the last time, and how long will this one last?
I couldn't speak to how long it's been, but their resurfacing is really the main maintenance thing from here on out, and that's between 5 and 10 years usually you need a resurface. But as long as it's resurfaced, the submaterials should last a very long time.
Jim, this is, I'm pretty sure these are the original courts from when they fixed it last time, you know.
When they expanded to 10 courts and fixed it last time.
We're 13 plus years into these courts, and like you said, it should be 5 to 10.
Yeah.
When I talked to Coach Scheidler, he says about every 7 to 9 years, you should be redoing. We've extended it by about 4 or 5 years here.
Yeah.
Easily.
Yeah. Past its shelf life.
Thank you.
Thank you.
So the final number on the for Gary Up would be $1,268,500.
If there's no further questions, then could I please have a motion to accept the bid for the tennis courts?
I move that we accept the bid for the tennis courts.
And a second?
I'll second.
All those in favor say aye.
Aye.
Any opposed? Great, that item is approved. Now we're going to move on to new business, the new K-12 student handbooks. Dr. Barker.
Hi, thank you. Dr. Allison and I are bringing our handbooks for the board's approval this evening. Nothing earth-shattering in the way of changes this year, with the credit being given to our administrators who over the past few years have diligently worked on making sure there's consistency in the handbooks all the way through, working collaboratively together to make sure that the language is same and formatting. And so there's really not a whole lot that we have as far as changes this year, which is exciting. I would personally like to thank Haley Sarkeesian, who served as the elementary lead person in our changes this year. And Dr. Allison?
Yeah, I'd like to acknowledge Nick Slater and Aaron Strauss at the middle school and Michelle Bush at the high school for their work in getting it together and collaborating really K through 12 this year. It was a really nice process. So,
Thanks. So if there aren't any questions, we ask for your approval of our handbooks this year.
Any questions from the board? Okay, if not, could I have a motion for approval?
A motion for approval.
And a second?
Second.
All those in favor say aye.
Aye.
Any opposed? All right, the handbooks are approved. Thank you. Okay, our next item is the first reading of policies. Dr. McCall.
Thank you, Madam President. This is information only. For your review, we have just a few policies that are annual in nature that require review and approval. teacher appreciation grant policy, determination of legal settlement policy, as well as the student wellness on physical activity and nutrition policy. As is custom, please review, let me know of any questions or changes, and then we will bring it to next month's meeting for a second reading and approval.
Then let's see, now that was the last item of the agenda. And we do not have anyone signed up for public comment. So now we have superintendent comments.
A few things came to light here at the end of the year. I'd just like to highlight just some excellent news that we've received. First, we were notified that once again, Valparaiso Community Schools has been awarded the designation of a performance qualified school district by the state. It's based on student achievement. And so as a performance qualified school district, we have flexibility within our school calendar where we are more geared toward instructional minutes rather than a number of instructional days. And so it's this designation that has allowed us to have a more creative calendar where we have half days for parent-teacher conferences as well as professional development of our staff because we are on annual instructional minutes instead of 180 instructional days. So it's always good to receive that designation and have that flexibility to do what we know is good practice across the board. Also would like to highlight that the American Institute of Architecture Awards, I think we have a picture, were conducted on May 5th, 2023. And this is Tarek Elnagar, a professor of architecture there for us with a few of his students. Lucas Palmer was awarded Award of Excellence. Olivia Lozano also received Award of Excellence, and Angelica Villarreal received an Award of Honor for their work on their architectural displays.
Yeah, he always wins so many things. But if you take a look, guys, my favorite is the tree house looking one on the bottom left. I think any grown adult that loved tree houses when they were kids, that is just, that makes you want to build it right there. It's really cool.
Yeah, I was just,
yeah.
That's funny. Congratulations to Tarek and his students. Would also like to share with you, Sue Manego received ISMA Service Award after being nominated by the high school band program. Sue is a longtime bus driver, having served 33 years, I believe. She has driven everyone and everybody, and is a familiar route for the Flint Lake kids as well. She is fantastic, and so I would like to share with you the nomination that was submitted, and I wanted to have her here, but she's actually at the concert and is being recognized and awarded on stage there this evening at the high school. So
Is she driving home afterwards?
it's a home meet. It's a home meet. So I would like to read this aloud. So I beg just a couple of minutes. The Valparaiso High School Band Program nominates Suzanne Manego for the 2023 ISMA Service Award. Since 1989, Suzanne, or Sue, has worked in the transportation department as a bus driver for the Valparaiso Community Schools. She's always the first person to enthusiastically be ready and willing to drive the band to performances near and far. When at these performances, Sue does not wait with the bus for the band to be finished. She is always ecstatic to be in the audience watching the students perform. Sue can be seen in her band spirit wear and be heard cheering exuberantly in appreciation of our students. Sue can often be seen at local performances in the community, even when she is not on the clock as a bus driver. The Valparaiso Community Schools collaborates with local private schools to provide band to their students, and Sue transports the 6th through 8th grade band and orchestra students from a private school to a VCS middle school every day, so the students have the opportunity to participate in band class. Many of those students continue on in the VHS band, where they might see Sue as their driver for jazz band or state concert band events. Sue has always been a loyal friend and fan of our program. This includes the time when her daughter Andrea was in the VHS band. In addition to her support for music, Sue bleeds Valpo green and will drive any of our sports teams to their games and matches. Most recently, Sue drove the 5A state championship VHS football team to their winning state finals game. Over the years, Sue has spent many weekends away from home with our bands and various sports teams. She has been a reliable professional and close friend to our band program and to the community of Valparaiso. We are grateful for her presence and support, and we strongly believe that Sue Monago is the perfect candidate for the 2023 ISMA Service Award. So,
Thank you, that's wonderful. Yeah.
congratulations to Sue, and thank you to Miguel for penning such a great nomination that really captures what makes her special. Finally, just want to highlight that Teddy Creekmore, who is our nurse at Valparaiso High School, had a really nice article in the Times highlighting her work as a Heart of Healthcare champion. And so again, I just want to read a little bit of what was written, that Teddy Creekmore is the epitome of everything that a school nurse should aspire to be. She has strong critical thinking skills, superb clinical nursing knowledge, and a compassion that transcends all layers of caring for the ever-changing high school student. I started working with Teddy during the COVID pandemic of 2020, and these hours were often grueling and exhausting. Teddy never once complained about this arduous work. She is one of the hardest workers I've ever had the privilege to work with. Her patience, wisdom, and encouragement made me excited to be a school nurse. I cannot come up with enough words to describe Teddy's dedication of her job. Every student that walks through the clinic door is given time, love, and a listening ear. She meets the child right where they are at, listening without judgment. She radiates joy, even when nursing isn't joyful all the time. Most days, over 100 kids are seen in the clinic. I've never seen her rush a child out the door, and many of these kids pour out their heart to her. Most days you will see her send a kid back to class, but not without a hug. She is truly one of the most genuine nurses I've ever met. The students here adore her, the teachers trust her, and the parents look to her when facing complex, ongoing medical conditions. Everybody needs a Teddy in their school. Our school is better because of her, and she has literally impacted everyone she has come into contact with for the better. She's a leader, a visionary, and a champion in her field. I cannot think of a better candidate who deserves this recognition more than her. Teddy's not only a wife, mom, daughter, nurse, Girl Scout leader, handyman, but also a wonderful friend. Teddy Creekmore.
Thank you.
And our last day with students is Thursday, and last day with teachers is Friday for Records Day. It's been a tremendous year, truly. A lot of highlights. I know there were a couple of bumps, but overall, it's been tremendous. We've accomplished a lot of goals that we set out to do that will springboard us with momentum in the next year. Excited to take it on. So appreciate your shared leadership in our endeavors. So thank you.
Thank you very much, Dr. McCall. A couple of dates coming up. Graduation is May 31st. Love it. Seeing all the accomplishments, seeing all the students and families who are so proud of what they've achieved, and it's a great day. And then our next board meeting is going to be on June 15th here at 6 p.m. So we look forward to seeing everyone then. Any other comments from the board?
I just want to say thank you to Dr. McCall and the rest of the administration, and all the teachers, bus drivers, the aides, and everybody. Holy cow, without you guys, this is what makes our community tick. Thank you so much.
I must say this year is much better than my first year.
It's been a good year.
I feel like I'm finally gaining some momentum. It's been a great year. Thank you.
Okay, with that, can I have a motion to adjourn the meeting?
I move that we adjourn.